Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you game 2 of a matchup between Gamfvr and Ynot here on Metalopolis. This is part of a best of 5 series. Now before you get too confused and say, wait, wasn't game 1 also on Metalopolis? Yes, in fact it was. Ynot in fact spawning at the same exact location at the 8 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Gamfvr spawning here as the yellow Terran player at the 3 o'clock location. So this will be a cross spawn here on Metalopolis. Excuse me, a little bit different than the original matchup. And now we see Gamfvr moving out or trying to set up a rally point with an SCV and will be placing down a supply depot and getting a front door set up in just a moment. Ynot setting up a natural pile or a 9 pylon here and now moving out as well. So pretty much the same standard openings coming in from both players. Now game 1, if you had not already seen it, I suggest you do, as I'm going to start talking about it now. Spoiler alert. Well, game 1 was really back and forth, and I didn't know who the clear-cut winner was going to be. I thought, why not, if he was able to establish that third base and get a strong enough economy going, he would have been able to fight back against Gamfvr. However, because he did not micro his Templars in the last critical fight, all of his Templars died before one Psystorm even went off against a very, very tightly packed group of units. So a little bit of a mistake there. We'll see if he makes that same mistake again. We now see a barracks coming into play from Gamfvr. So Gamfvr and a gateway also coming in from Ynot. So both sides pretty much opening with the same exact builds. The probe, however, not going after the SCV. No, is going to go after that SCV now and going to be able to peck away a little bit at its life. No, instead going after the barracks. So that was a little bit of a mistake. Instead of attacking the SCV, attack the barracks, and this probe now trying to make its way around the map and get more and more information. So Gamfvr most likely getting a assimilator block. So an assimilator is in a very, very expensive building for the Protoss army compared to the an extractor from Zerg. So normally you do not see assimilator blocks. The assimilator, if it is completed, will take quite some time to take down, as an assimilator naturally has 900 hit points compared to a refinery's 500 or an extractor's 500. So that assimilator most likely will be sitting there for quite some time. We also have a marine that will be popping out in just a moment, and the probe looked like it was going to try to move out and instead decided to stay in the base. So that probe will be able to get a lot of site information, and with the help of this one building here, able to move around and try to dodge that marine. Just perhaps going to move back into the shadows there and then move back out. Move back into the shadows, just trying to dance back and forth. However, the marine just standing its ground and able to deal enough damage. Finally, we also have an SCV deciding to pull out of this position here. It did gain sight on the gateway and the cybernetics core, however, and did see a 2-gate build. So it's going to be a 2-gate, and now chrono boosting that warp gate ability. Most likely we will also see a robotics facility in just a moment. And now these marines making their way over to the assimilator is going to start shooting down or start shooting at this assimilator. This assimilator has so many hit points that it will take quite some time for these 2 marines to be able to take it down. A third one will be able to help it. And now as those 3 marines start shooting away, perhaps a zealot should have walked up this ramp. And if in fact, and why not have used a zealot or trained up an early zealot in order to deal some damage as these marines were over here, this would have just put a really, really bad hamper on Gamfvr's economy. However, that stalker now trying to make its way across the map will be able to get there. However, but those marines should be able to come back over here at the front door. We also see one marine now moving down, and Gamfvr doing a fast expansion, or a pretty fast expansion here. And he's trying to take his natural expansion with the help of a bunker. We do see that there is one stalker here activating this Onaga watchtower, gaining sight. The same with this probe down here as well. And now also Ynot getting the expansion. So 5 minutes and 30 seconds into this game, both sides already getting that natural expansion and trying to get this economic game going instead of going for any major tech. We do see a third racks and now a factory coming into play. So with one marine now being trained up over here in a bunker, we should probably start seeing some aggression coming from Ynot. I'm surprised that Ynot has not done all too much, and it kind of feels like Ynot's economy is a little bit slower than I would have expected so far. True for both sides. So we have 21 harvesters for Gamfvr and 25 harvesters for Ynot. Also, we see a 2 warp gates now online, and there are no probes in order to try to put down any proxy pylons. One stalker deciding to pull back there and now wants to deal some damage towards this location here. And Alright, stupid telemarketer, go away. We do have some Marines and Stalkers now just continuing to fight back over here. I had to rewind the replay. And these Stalkers are now going to start pressing in over here against these SCVs. However, more and more Marines coming out, and a group of 8 Marines trying to shoot down these Stalkers. The Marines do not have stim, so unable to catch up. And these Stalkers will be able to pull back at just the right time and now perhaps get some more damage onto those Marines, trying to just use that range of 6 against a range of 5, which is fairly difficult. But these Stalkers do move significantly faster than those Marines. I believe 30 to 40% faster is the movement rate difference between those two units. We now see some probes being transferred over here by Ynot. So Ynot now establishing his natural expansion as well. And we see Gamfvr now going into a mass barracks build. We also see one factory in play, but that factory has not yielded any Hellions, has not started the construction of a starport or anything of that nature. So I'm a little bit curious as to what Gamfvr wants to do with this factory. Currently, it's just a waste of 150 minerals and 100 gas that he could have used on a supply depot to not be supply locked. Back over here, we now see Ynot taking a look at his harvester count, 35 harvesters versus 30, and Ynot still doubly producing these probes. Meanwhile, it does not look like Gamfvr is producing any SCV, so Gamefvr's economy will start to slow in just a moment, as he is also supply locked, 46 over 46, so both sides not staying on top of their macro, and now need to get more and more supply depots down. So you see Gamfvr quickly building down 2 supply depots there, and is now trying to train up more Marines, more Marauders, and also getting a starport. Back here, we do see a couple sentries, zealots, and stalkers guarding this ramp over here, and just trying to make sure that no units are able to simply slip by. And an additional simulator now being warped in to help accommodate for the Templar archives, which is currently being warped in. That means that we will get enough gas for a lot of High Templars in addition to a lot of zealots. I would hope to see zealot charge also be researched, as well as Ynot will be forced to create a lot of zealots in order to offset the gas usage that High Templars are obviously very, very heavy in. So more zealots currently being produced. We also see a reactor now being placed down by this factory, and now most likely will be swapped with the starport in order to double train medevacs. We also see more Marauders being trained, and both sides just sitting in their base trying to get a very strong economy going. Gamefvr going for additional barracks will be able to mass up a very, very large Marine Marauder army very easily. However, we do see that High Templars may be in the near future. No Psystorm being researched though. So this is the second time I've seen Ynot get the... finally, we do have some High Templars, but no Psystorm yet being researched. And this is the second time that I've seen him go for that Templar Archives, and I hope that he does in fact research that Psystorm, starts chrono boosting it, and is able to use it effectively. Against mass Marine and mass Bio, you need either Colossi or Psystorm to deal with it, or if you can, both, just because the counters for each scenario are different. Ghost versus Vikings, and that it forces the Terran player to also split up his army as well, or split up his tech as well. Normally, if a Terran player does have Ghost, he will not be able to double train Vikings. And now in comes one medevac. Medevac quickly getting shooed away, however, by the Stalkers and the Zealots here. So this medevac drop not going to be successful at all. We do see the level 1 weapons upgrade currently being researched, and now the stim pack and the concussive shells have also been researched. There is no combat shield on those Marines just quite yet, as this medevac perhaps wants to re-engage. However, Zealots and Stalkers once again coming into position, quickly seeing this, and now those Marines and Marauders coming in, Stalkers trying to fight, and all of these units trying to pull away, trying to pull back. We do see some concussive shells onto those units, and now that one Zealot did take some damage here. We also see a third base being placed down by Gamfvr. So Gamfvr now trying to set up a third base and get an even stronger economy going. Will be able to move out. He is also attacking at the same time, and there is going to be a very large fight here. So in comes some of these Zealots. Zealots do not have Zealot charge. It is currently being researched, and none of those sentries are really doing anything. We're not quite sure why Ynot is engaging here. Perhaps those High Templars do have Psystorm, and they will be able to get and trap those units here. However, no force fields in play to try to stop any of those units as those Zealots continue to give chase. There we go, finally getting a force field. However, that force field timing was a little bit sloppy, unable to get any additional kills off of that, as these Marauders now, or as those Zealots now continue to chase and will not be able to surround and catch up to that target, as the Zealot charge still needs another 20 units of time. We do see the amulet now currently being researched by Ynot. So as those High Templars are now warped in, they will be able to cast Psystorm instantaneously. Ynot also needs to get some additional pylons, now training up or building 3, and will be able to warp in a lot of High Templars in just a second. Perhaps we will see some Chrono Boost on this Templar Archives as well in order to speed up the amulet research and help that build. We do see some Marauders and Marines now dropping in once again, and those Zealots getting in position, those Stalkers able to get some of those Marine kills, and now this one medevac only down to 2 Marauders, so it will not be that effective any further. We do see 3 High Templars joining, rounding out this fight, and those High Templars have a large amount of energy. Currently sitting at almost 200 energy. They will be able to cast 2 Psystorms, and then after a short period of time cast a 3rd one. And now in comes this Planetary Fortress. So this Planetary Fortress dealing a lot of damage towards these Zealots here. We should be getting a Psystorm across all those units, and all those SCVs are just going to get taken down there, and down they go. So nicely done. And now a feedback onto the medevac as well, getting another Psystorm, another Psystorm. No, another Psystorm was not cast. These High Templars should have enough energy. Cast another Psystorm. No, not casting another Psystorm. And all of those Marines and Marauders will survive to fight another day. I believe if those 3 High Templars had just turned around to cast Psystorm, one of them would still be alive, if not 2 of them, and a lot more of these Marines and Marauders would be dead. We do see that the Planetary Fortress over here did take some damage, only got 2 kills, and a lot of the Harvesters were taken down, so only 43 Harvesters for Gamfvr compared to 59 for Ynot. We do see 2 Marauders just waiting in the dark here. Perhaps we'll be able to push once again. Ynot does have some Zealots. However, Gamfvr only able to see one of them on that fight. And now with 1 probe on this high ground, able to get sight here. So the Ghost now being trained by Gamfvr. So Gamfvr will be able to get some EMP shockwaves off. However, those High Templars now moving out, perhaps trying to get a feedback in, getting some feedback in Psystorm, but very nicely done. Casting it across all of those units, and a lot of those units are now just very, very low in the red. Medevacs do not have that much energy. All that feedback onto those medevacs. As this fight continues, Stalkers do have Blink, so Stalkers will be able to catch up that distance fairly easily, and now trying to blink down onto that low ground, and this whole entire army is very, very small indeed. However, fresh Marauders coming in to join in on this fight, and now continuing to blink with more and more units here. Gamefvr, however, with the larger army in this scenario, or over here, will be able to pick off more units once again. And now, a lot of low hit point units here. All we need is a Psystorm or a High Templar warped in here, and then just Psystorming all these units on the low ground. We do see 5 High Templars there, and no, these Marauders know they cannot engage, trying to pull away. We do see them Stalkers now trying to pick off more and more units. Stalkers blinking in, trying to chase once again, continuing to get chased, and now down goes another Stalker, and now more fresh Marauders trying to help out on this fight. Stalkers not, for some reason, finally blinking. They are not trying to maximize their damage any further, and now they're going to pull back here. Are we going to get another Psystorm? There we go, another Psystorm. Ghost barely dodging that Psystorm there, does not want to engage. It does have enough energy for an EMP shockwave, but did not cast it. We do see that there's one observer here gaining sight onto this front door, as once again we are putting more pressure over here at the natural expansion. Also, more High Templars coming in as well. SCVs coming in to try to repair. A scanner sweep revealing Stalkers now trying to blink as well, and then in comes another group of Psystorm, and all those SCVs will get taken down. Only 2 left in that fight, and now those, oh my goodness, all of those High Templars once again getting sacrificed. So why not using his High Templars all too well and continuing to lose them once again? We do see 1 Marauder here. All these Stalkers will be able to finish it off, but taking a lot of damage. And now once again we have more Marauders coming in, so these Marauders once again trying to push out one of those Zealots. Will get taken down before any of the fighting really finishes, and now, or the warping really finishes, as these Zealots now finish off these last couple Marauders here. So those 2 Zealots didn't even really take that much damage, as they're able to push back against this 1 Marauder. Marauder perhaps going to drop into this location to try to do a little bit more harassment, but it will take quite some time for a Marauder to shoot down a probe and get a kill. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between Ynot and Gamefvr here on Metalopolis.